using your racist and right-wing tactics, and you don't like it. It's an abomination of our Constitution and what we the people want. Tell yourselves there's no racial component to this redistricting, or, gerrymandering, if it helps you sleep at night. This shouldn't even be happening at all, and this legislator isn't even doing its job. Where's our budget, guys? Y'all have your priorities mixed up, and your hunger for maintaining power and control is sickening. It doesn't end here. We, the people, will continue to fight for justice, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and fair maps. We, the people's voice, will not be stifled, and we will persist. The world is watching, and your place in history will not be favorable.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. The next speaker is Kristen, and I apologize, I can't read your last name. You mean?
Sorry. My name's Kristen Greason. I'm from Liberty, North Carolina, and I'm here on behalf of myself. I'm here because I'm tired. I'm tired because I'm feeling like my elected officials no longer serve their constituents as they are sworn to do. If you truly care about your constituents, you would be working to pass a budget. You would be working to fully fund Medicaid in the state of North Carolina. Instead, you are redistricting the state again to finagle more power and more money for yourselves. If you truly cared about what your constituents think, then put a referendum on the ballot and ask them across the state. Let them tell you what they want redistricting to look like in the state of North Carolina. Everyone in this room, Democrat or Republican, should be in favor of free and fair elections. You are not doing that right now.
Thank you, Ms. Greason. Before we go to Elena Severio next, in line would be Landon Anderson, Lisa Mitchell, Ron Osborne, and Marissa Orishkovich. And so, Elena Severio, if you're here.
My name's Elena Severio, and I am with Democracy Out Loud. This is a people's proclamation, whereas on November 20, 2025, 25 members of the North Carolina Senate voted to openly disenfranchise black voters of District 1, we the people call shame. Whereas Senator Ralph Hives of District 47 was divinely inspired to take it upon himself to violently remove justice from the voting rights of black voters in District 1, the people call shame. Whereas the Republican Party of this state has decided to get on their knees awaiting their reward from an authoritarian thug, a convicted felon, who sees himself as king while defecating on the citizens of this republic, the people call shame. Whereas the House of Representatives of the state of North Carolina has the opportunity on this date to break the cycle of partisan gerrymandering, the people say, do the right thing, stop hurting black voters, as has been the result of every gerrymander in this state's history.
Thank you, Ms. Severio.
No.
Your time has expired. Landon Anderson. Mr. Anderson, are you in the room? If not, Lisa Mitchell.
Hello, and thank you. I appreciate this opportunity to talk. Rather than repeat points that other people have made, I would just like to remind this esteemed committee that 84% of voters, including 87% of Democrats, 78% of Republicans, have said they oppose partisan voting maps in the September survey. Each of you on this committee and in the House took an oath to defend the state constitution and serve all of the people of North Carolina. If this gerrymander is implemented, at least 6 million people will have lost trust in this House.
Thank you, ma'am. Ron Osborne.
I'm Ron Osborne. I'm from Alamance County, and I want to say that I applaud Representative Jones and Senator Heiss for their frankness. It is not easy to represent up front the Republican Party as they did. They did a good job of that. They put their bigotry and their greed front and center, and I appreciate that forthrightness in doing that. I only wish that your honesty, truthfulness would extend to talking about the motives behind these things. And it reminds me of a story about the old Quaker farmer called Chicken Thief. He caught the chicken thief in his barn, and he said, "Friend, I would not shoot thee, but I would not harm thee, but I'm about to shoot where you're standing." And that's kind of the way you're looking at saying this is not about racial issues. You can call it what it is, but we know what's going on.
Thank you, Mr. Ogden. The next speaker is going to be Larissa Orishkovich, but let me say, if you could get in line, and the following speakers: Hannah Gibbs, Jennifer Spiel, and Jasmine Abney, and Carlos Stacy Carlos. But first, Larissa Orishkovich.
First of all, I thank you for attempting to pronounce my last name. It's very courageous of you. My parents were from Ukraine. They came here after World War II, so I was born and raised here. And I know why they came, just as many others come, for the better life. I'm not here to shame anybody, to talk ill about anybody. All that has been said before me. But I am looking for courage. I am looking for somebody who aspires to be somebody like Abraham Lincoln. The Republican Party has had great figures in its history. So why are we simply rubber stamping our commander-in-chief and not exerting our rights as free-thinking people to stand up for the people of North Carolina? To redistrict this in a manner just to gain a vote is dishonest, lacks integrity, and will not serve you well in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I won't try again. Hannah Gibbs is next. Gibbs, are you in the room still? Apparently not. How about Jennifer Spiel? Help me with your last name.
It's Spiel, S-P-E-A-L. Sorry, my handwriting was not all that great. My name's Jennifer Spiel. I'm a citizen of this great state in this country. First, I want to say I reiterate, uplift, and personally agree with every word Representative Harrison spoke earlier. I think she hit all the nails on the head. I'm here to communicate my extreme disappointment in the continual redistricting of our voting districts. I mean, how many times have we got to do this? Really? Gerrymandering is cheating, plain and simple. And I have said for a long time that Republicans don't have game. They haven't had game in a long time. And when you don't have game, you have to rely upon cheating to get votes. And one last thing I want to say is, we the people of North Carolina means fairly and justly representing the people of North Carolina. And that's what you should be doing. And Representative Jones, I've watched you, and you haven't looked up from your phone the entire time we've been speaking. How disrespectful.
Thank you, Ms. Field. Our next speaker is Jasmine Abney. She'll be followed by Stacy Carlos.
Hi, y'all. I am Jasmine Abney. I am here with Common Cause North Carolina, but first and foremost, I'm a North Carolina native and a generational North Carolinian. And if you're wondering, no, we should not be redistricting. You should not be gerrymandering an already gerrymandered map. You should be letting your constituents focus on their municipal elections and the early voting plans that their county boards of elections are taking up. But instead, they are here. And Senator Hines let us know that he didn't want to read any of those 11,000 comments. He said that was partisan mess. But I'm here in front of you because this is not right. Read the comments, listen to your constituents, and act accordingly. Do not vote for these maps.
Thank you, Ms. Abney. Stacy Carlos, and then our final speaker after Ms. Carlos is Queen Alicia Hammond.
Good afternoon. My name is Stacy Carlos, also a North Carolina native, but speaking today on behalf of NC Counts Coalition, a nonpartisan organization that led statewide efforts for complete and accurate 2020 census count. Redistricting, like the census, should occur once every 10 years to ensure fair representation, never to serve partisan interests. Yet for the fourth time since 2020, and not due to court order, we are here again, because North Carolina's redistricting process and the maps before us continue to dilute the political power of Black voters, while limiting meaningful public participation. These maps protect partisan political power, not democracy. Voters should choose their leaders, not the other way around. North Carolinians deserve transparency, inclusion, and fairness in every step of the redistricting process. Elected officials are supposed to serve the people, not partisan power. We will not stand for politics that silence Black voters and other voters of color, weaken democracy, or keep control in the hands of a few. North Carolinians deserve better. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Carlos. And then our final speaker, Queen Alicia Hammond. Ms. Hammond? Not seeing her. Chair thanks you, members of the public, for your comments and especially for your decorum and trying to help us keep on schedule. Chair recognizes Chair Jones for a motion.
Burgers, maps, or racist maps.
Burgers, maps, or racist maps. Burgers, maps, or racist maps. Burgers, maps, or racist maps. Burgers, maps, or racist maps. Burgers, maps, or racist maps. Burgers, maps, or racist maps. Burgers, maps, or racist maps. Burgers, maps, or racist maps. Burgers, maps, or racist maps. Burgers, maps, or racist maps. Burgers, maps, or racist maps. Burgers, maps, or racist maps. Stay on your phone and stop being disrespectful. Burgers, maps, or racist maps. Racist. Pay attention. Burgers, maps, or racist maps. 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 Burgers, maps, or racist maps.
Committee will come back to order. Representative Jones, you're recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Chairman. I move for a final report, Senate Bill 249, with referral to rules.
Representative Jones, would you like to speak on your motion, or have other members of that? Okay, are there members of the committee desire to be heard? Representative Ball, you are recognized.
I would like to call for a roll call vote.
Glad to do it. Other comments or questions from members of the committee? Representative Harrison, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know I promised I wasn't going to speak again, but there were a couple things that I missed, including that financial figure. So Mr. Thomas said it, but we got the information in right as the committee was stirring up. So I've been checking every time we go through these redistricting litigation processes, and the total now is, since the 2011 redraw, it's been $22,512,000. So that's a lot of money, and I guess I raise it in the context of the fact that this very district that's getting redrawn, 1 and 3, is subject to litigation right now in federal court. And the trial took place in June, and it looks like we might get a decision imminently. And this seems premature to be drawing this map when it's going to be the same issue. So I wanted to also sort of remind folks what Dr. McClure said. It's Article 1, Section 2, sovereignty of the people. The clause about all the power vesting with the people. So the point is that what we're supposed to do as an institution is solely for the good of the whole. And I would argue that there is no way that this redraw of this map, mid-decadal, is for the possibly likely in violation of the Voting Rights Act, all kinds of problems, is for the good of the whole. And I just remind us of our constitutional oath that we all took. And a vote for this map seems to be in direct violation of that oath. And I guess I have a quick question for the chair. Given that we just heard a bunch of public comment, we've had all the online portal comments, are we going to factor any of that into the proposed map, or are we just voting on this map? Thank you.
We're voting on the motion before the committee by 350. Are there other questions, comments from members of the committee? Representative Reeves.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I recognize that I'll probably comment a couple other times, and so I'll try to not be as lengthy as I sometimes am. What I'm hoping will happen to this committee, same thing that I hope that happens if it passes. This committee goes rules, same thing I hope happens on the floor. And I guess what is important to me right now, sometimes all of us do things, and disappointingly for me, the country has become completely polarized about party. Everything is, what party are you in? And if the party does something, then, a lot of us feel compelled to support it. I have been very clear in my time up here, and I don't think there's a time that somebody can tell me I've done differently. I'm in a political party because that is the system that we're in. I vote for myself, my constituents, my God, my faith, and I do what I feel is the right thing to do, even if that puts me in disagreement with folks in my party, your party, or whoever it is. I bring these things up because one of the things that happens and why it gets so dangerous in this country, and it really anywhere, is throughout history, when you start really kind of trying to fit yourself into two boxes, is I don't care if you got a population of 10. At some point, that 5 that's in that box, they're going to start disagreeing about something. And so while we've been concentrating on these maps and things of that sort, I'm looking at other things. And two of the things that have really stayed deeply in my mind are Tom Tillis and John Bolton. When I got here, Tom Tillis was speaker. There are a lot of people here that are in the majority right now that I think if we say it in an honest moment, you're here because of Tom Tillis. Tom Tillis had a vision. He saw an opportunity to take a majority. And I don't think there are many people, when it comes down to the state legislature, that could have done more for Republicans and put Republicans in the majority than Tom Tillis. I really don't. And I know that President Pro Tem was also involved, but I remember Tillis's popularity and leadership coming out of Mecklenburg. So why has he been on my mind? He's going home. And he hadn't really done anything wrong. There's not really something you can point to where he's been out of line with the party or he's been some rogue agent. I don't think anybody would ever describe him as a rogue agent. But he fell out of favor with the present leadership of the party. I look at John Bolton. There was not a closer advisor to the present administration than John Bolton. He's under indictment. And why that's concerning is because, for those of you who have never been in the federal system, feds don't bring an indictment if they don't think they're getting ready to get a conviction. That guy's going to prison. And again, all the little bit of information I know, I'm not sure why, except for I know that he has been identified as an enemy of the administration. So why do I bring these things up? With these maps, the maps that were drawn in 24 were allowed to be drawn for partisan advantage. That ship sailed, that's it. So I think those maps were the maps that folks in this chamber that voted on it believe were the best Republican maps you could get. And now we're back again. And we're doing it again to curry favor with the administration, but what we're really doing is consolidating power. So the warning I would give the folks is this: it's all well and good as long as you stay in favor. But one day, you're John Bolton. One day you're Tom Tillis. One day you're like, but the most important thing for my constituents, which is what I believe all 120 of us are here for, the most important thing with my constituents is actually out of line with what this particular administration wants, not the party, but what this administration wants. And when we start doing things to make a person happy, this is something I feel strongly about, and I don't mind bringing up in church. You don't follow a pastor, you support your church. And I bring that up because I think all great organizations, that's what you do. It's not about the person who's at top. It's about what ultimately helps all of the people we're supposed to be serving. I'll give it to you. There's been no pretense that this is doing something to make things better for North Carolinians. This is something to gain power and to hold power. I would just warn all of us that when we do things for that reason, it's going to come back to bite. I know how many people I've watched get walked out of here, not physically, but figuratively, when they fall out of line with something that leadership wants, which again is nothing that's violative of the party. I would hope we vote these maps down simply for this reason. One, I will never believe in so-and-so did something, so I'm going to do something back. Somebody hits you, you got to hit them back. Somebody attacks you, you got to attack them back. But bad behavior politically, whoever started it, does not ever merit bad behavior politically here, because you know what's going to happen with North Carolina? Doesn't matter how this congressional stuff goes. Ultimately, North Carolina's going to be all right because we are here as North Carolina's leadership. So I ask you to vote no on this, not to be insulting, not to talk about anybody, not to say one idea is better than the other, not to say one party or one leadership is better than another. I'm not even saying if this was the greatest president we've ever had in our lives, I say the same thing. That it's not about who's in leadership now. It's about starting the habit of doing things for a person and not for the folks that we serve, and not for the folks that you serve with. And I don't want to see us become that, so I ask that you vote no.
Further comments or questions from members of the committee? Seeing none, Representative Duke.
Sorry. I would say I actually served as the redistricting chair for the county commission, or for the county, which was appointed by the county commission in 2011. And so at that point, our maps were actually pulled back here during the middle of the process, which circumvented the opportunity for the community to actually comment on the maps. And I think that it's really unfortunate that in this situation, for those who are being affected who may not be able to make it here, from my folks in Mecklenburg, of course there are a lot of people who could make it here today, but there was not an opportunity for the folks affected to be able to speak to these maps in a public forum that wasn't here. And also, I don't think an hour and 40 minutes is adequate. And also, with the way this process was set up, there's no real opportunity to change. And so that's unfortunate. I expected more of us.
Representative Ball.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a few thoughts. The old map is bad and is a gerrymander. The new map is really, really bad. Don't want us to forget that. The current map and the new map are illegal partisan gerrymanders, even if the U.S. Supreme Court and the North Carolina Supreme Court do not agree. I will not shy away from calling it that. Sorry, excuse me. The current map and the new map are illegal racial gerrymanders that violate the Voting Rights Act, reauthorized by Congress and signed by President Bush in 2006. This is true even if the U.S. Supreme Court does not agree. In the long, sordid history of North Carolina gerrymandering, we are breaking new ground, and I am outraged about that, as I know many people who have reached out to me from my district and all over the state. Thank you.
Further comments or questions from members of the committee? Representative Carney.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm trying to gather my thoughts. I've been a North Carolinian born and bred here. My children have been raised here. My grandchildren, some of them have been raised here. I've had a distinct honor and privilege to serve Mecklenburg County, my district, in Raleigh for the last 23 years. I've been in the majority, I've been in the minority. I can't believe that I'm sitting here today, that we are now moving forward because someone, one man in Washington, the president, and you heard my questioning earlier, this has never been done in North Carolina, that we have taken from the president of the country and saying, I need you to redistrict and give me one more congressional seat. That's just so out of the realm of the democracy that I have been raised in. My father was a World War II veteran. And if he were alive today, he'd be 105. I cannot believe that he is sitting where he is in heaven, proud of what his daughter has been asked to do today. And that is to not stand up for the Constitution in this bill, in this redistricting. Not because the Constitution requires it, not because the people have demanded it, but because one man in Washington asked us to do it. I just can't believe that I'm sitting here. It's surreal to me. We just went through this 3 years ago. And now we're doing it again to the people. For what reason? It makes no sense to me. Except it's just, I hate cliches. I don't like them. I've worked with you all on both sides of the road, and I hope I can continue to do that and have your respect. But I can't keep quiet at this moment, because I hear from the people you've heard from here today and online, and I do encourage you to read them. I think some of you may have read them, or read some of them, or someone's told you what's in there. I get it that power comes with the party in power. It comes from your leadership. I get it. I've been there. I just ask us all to pause, think while we're doing it, because it truly is, as the speaker said, and my children, my adult children, my in-laws, they've been calling me, texting me. You can't be quiet, Mom. They know I don't speak a lot. But when I do, it's from my heart and my disappointment. My state is better than this. Our state is better than this. And I know you don't want to hear half of what people are saying, but I hope at some point that when you put your head down on the pillow, as my daddy told me at night, and you can fall asleep, you know you're in a good position. I hope you all sleep well. Thank you.
Further comments or questions from members of the committee? Seeing none, the motion before the committee is that we give Senate Bill 249 a favorable report with a referral to rules. If you are in favor of the motion, vote aye or yes. And if you are opposed, vote no, and the clerk will call the roll.
Representative Ball? No. Ball, no. Representative Carney?
No.
Representative Carney, no. Representative Dew? No. Representative Dew, no.
Yes.
Dixon, yes. Echeverria?
Yes.
Echeverria, yes. Gillespie?
Yes.
Gillespie, yes. Harrison?
No.
Harrison, no. Humphrey?
Yes.
Humphrey, yes. Francis Jackson?
No.
Francis Jackson, no. Neil Jackson?
Yes.
Neil Jackson, yes. Miller?
Yes.
Miller, yes. Reeves?
No.
Reeves, no. Ryan? Ryan, yes. Carson Smith?
Aye.
Carson Smith, yes. Dottie? Willingham?
No.
No. Willingham, no. Bell? Setzer? Tyson?
Jones, yes. Wish to vote Blackwell?
Chair votes yes.
Yes.
The votes on the motion are 10 in favor, 7 against. That completes the work of this committee, and the committee is adjourned.